What FMT tool does, if I want to define what is an editor, it should be like you need some kind of buffer implementation. At the beginning of time, not beginning, at the beginning of time, there was ed, the text editor, the famous one. Atom was killed by GitHub. Initially, it was purchased by GitHub. Do I write my own text editor in Golang? I already have Y, Emacs, Nano. So many text editors are already there. Along with that, I have VS Code and Z, the editor. Still, there is a need to create a text editor. I will use Micro for that. What do I name it? If I name it editor, there is a already text editor from Microsoft. I cannot name it ED as because from 1968 or 69 onwards, the ED text editor was already there. Can I make E as the text editor? Micro main.go would be the first file I should create. Along with that, I will learn some Go. The first thing to do in Go is to define the package name, package main, followed by importing some important tools. Import FMT. What FMT tool does, it imports or includes in terms of C language, it includes the formatting tools. Now it is time to declare our main function, func func main. What this func main should do, it should define our editor as E equals to new editor. And what this new editor should do, it should run E dot run. That's it. Our main function is ready. Now it's time we put each and everything one by one. If I want to define what is an editor, it should be like editor is a buffer of an existing file or you want to create a new file. So you need some kind of buffer implementation, and Go has a built-in buffer implementation called buff.io. Rather than this, I will need OS implementation because this piece of text editor as a tool, it should work on Linux, Mac or FreeBSD. So I should add OS. Already said about buff.io, BUF.io. That thing I need for the buffer. There will be a lot of string manipulation. To make it easy, let's include string. I remember it is not string, it is strings. Now come to the main part. Implementing a editor. I want it to be light, as light as possible. It would be much better if we could run within a terminal. For that thing to happen, and if we want our text editor capable to run within a terminal, we need some kind of implementation of grid system for the total window. It's like the total windowing system within the terminal. There is some already implemented things like tcell, but I like tcell the most. So let's include tcell, github.com/. Let's search for that repository. I think I will get that one, gd more /tcell. And as I see, they have released version 3. So it would be nice if we try using the version 3 as this is the latest one. And they are dropping out support for the version 1. Let's proceed with this. Before I proceed further implementation, I think some clarification would be much better. And I got some illustrations. At the beginning of time, not beginning, at the beginning of time, there was ed, the text editor, the famous one. Each and everyone used to worship. Okay, as I see, each and everyone worshipping to the ed, the text editor. It was between 1969 to 1976. What happened between 1969 and 1976? There was only one digital text editor that is called ed. That is the reason why I cannot name it as ed. That's because the ed name was taken by this piece of software. It was a fundamental Unix program. Okay, I got it. The first computer, it was ran on PDP-7 and the writer was Ken Thompson. Yes, I know this guy. That's because he was the main creator of Unix. I think there was another guy too. It was intended or like targeted to edit text line by line. Not that means you cannot edit the whole page or even whole screen. You must do it line by line. It was the main inspiration for the sed and grep. So if we want to call the father of sed and grep, it would be ed. And many more text writer, that means text editor like vi. Yes, I see some mention over vi, the visual editor. I'm not sure ve, it should have been ve, but whatever. Also emacs was born. That is the reason why it was worshipped till 1976. What happened after 1976? Two major text editor was born. Like one is vi, another one is emacs. Like there was no world war. India did not participated in any war. So technically we can say like there was no world war. But in this case, there is world war, and that that is not World War One, Two, or even World War Z. It was World War Zero. Each and every developer was like either from Vim side or from Emacs side. Along with that, we get various other text editors like Micro, Nano. I want to mention about Atom derivatives, or here it is mentioned as Atom progeny users. That means all those VS Code and VS Code derivatives, including Gemini IDE, all those text editors, even you can call it as IDE, all those derived from the Atom editor. And Atom was killed by GitHub. Initially, it was purchased by GitHub. Initially, it was created by GitHub. Later on, Microsoft purchased GitHub along with Atom and then killed Atom and rebranded Atom as VS Code. Eventually, each and every spin of VS Code inheritedly taken all those technologies, especially the Node.js thing. The Node.js thing is the main reason why all those text editors are so much heavy and resource hungry. By the way, I like Z. I think Z is written on Zig or Rust. It is so much intuitive and efficient. It is very much lighter on the system. It only takes few hundred MBs of RAM and very few processor cycles. Before that, I used to like Bluefish editor. Yes, it was my like daydream. It was very good, and especially it took very little resource on the system. So much light. This white background makes me felt like blind person. Okay, what did we get? We get VI and Emacs from Bill Joy and Richard Stallman. VI got evolved, especially using the Vim macros. Yes, Vim macro is very useful. Like if you want to edit a lot of things like a thick book, Vim macro will provide a ton of flexibility so that you can complete your book very fast. NeoVim, it feels like a full-fledged IDE. Along with that, we get Lua integration. That means using Lua, you can create your own key binding, your own way of things, so that you can implement your own taste on VI or Vim or NeoVim. Until and unless under the hood it uses VI or VIM. Emacs, there is a say like Emacs is a great operating system, but it lacks a good text editor. But I understand it is very intuitive. If you use Emacs for a few days, you will not be able to lose that tool. But in my case, when I go to plumbing or farming, after a few days, I forgot why bindings. Like, what do you do when you try to move a cursor? You use HJKL, like human hand. HJKL. Jackal means the fox, which is capable to run very fast. That means your fingers will be running very fast within your keyboard and cursor. But I feel very great after using few days. But when I go back to farming and came back, I forgot all those key bindings. There is also a good meme, how to quit VI, because the first and initial users used to face a lot of trouble just quitting the VI. The control C, control quit doesn't work. I feel the same regarding the Emacs also. So the main point is there is no simple intuitive text editor in computer. Either it is intuitive and heavy or it is non-intuitive. Very bad experience for normal users like me. That is the reason why I want to continue writing this application. There could be any error, so let's handle this error. If error, how do we do if any error happens? init. Since it is working now, let's retry with go run dot. Can I type on this? Yes, but I have done a mistake. Can I? Yes, of course I can. And it is right now working. And the footer node seems working fine. Control plus Q to quit. Name, no name, each and everything working fine. Let's quit and revisit the code. Here I see I need to make some changes on the dot git ignore as nano dot git ignore. Better I make this as E and editor. Another edit I want to do as I want to make is E, only the character E, not editor. So I'll have to modify the go mod file, go dot module, as this will work as a E module. So whenever I build this as an executable binary like go build dot, that means within this folder it will build, and the build was so fast. Let's LSLA. As you see, the E only 3.3 MB. I'm so happy that it is so tiny, but it will not grow till 100 MB. Like even it will not. So let's try to open this as a binary file. Yes, it opens. What if I want to open this within E? That means in further E will edit itself. Let's quit. Still, I am going back to the nano and micro things. What I like about nano is any server I go, the nano works the same. But for micro, it doesn't work, like especially the copy pasting things, communicating with the operating system for the clipboard thing. Those things do not work well with micro editor. I liked micro so much, but it felt I could do much better. That is the reason why I started doing the editor by myself. So if I do E and main.go, yes, that means this editor started building itself by its own. Can it copy? Yes, it can copy. Copy 12 characters to clipboard. Select works fine. Does it work with control arrow? No, still it do not work as a control arrow, and still it do not work with control A. Those are the thing I need to implement. What I understood, like it would be much easier if I make a technical documentation and a guidebook so that any so-called today's AI can implement further. That is the reason why I have created technicaldetails.md. So E technicaldetails.md. What I get? I get my favorite text editor called emacs. And eventually what I did, emacs was my default editor. So I made a shortcut on the fish settings, I remember. Now it's time I remove the shortcut of the E so that I can further use my own editor. Config fish, I think config.fish. This is the file where I made a shortcut called alias E. So let's save it and exit. That was the thing. Right now if I type E, still it is opening emacs. That is because still fish remembering the old shortcuts. For that reason, let's re-establish fish and type E. E should have been stayed as no command found. Whatever the case is, let's micro technicaldetails.md. Here what I have done, I have noted all the things it can do, like insert character, backspace, enter for the new line, delete, control Z and control Y. What I need now, I need control A that will select all. Let's provide this information to AGY, that means the anti-gravity CLI. Can it do this? Implement control A. It is examining main.go. Did it done it? Not sure. Yes, I think it is trying to build. Go build O. That means the generated file name would be E. By the way, if you just type go build dot or go build main.go, it would do the same. Still, okay, let's proceed. Before it does any testing, let's test with main.go and type control A. Yes, control A works. That means it was very easy to do development on anti-gravity CLI. That means so-called AI. Okay, let's proceed with this. I don't want to test. It is already working. Say no. What are the things I want to add to this text editor? I'm not sure still, but what I think I must do now, I must upload to our GitHub repository so that anyone could take a look at this repository. To push this repository, let's add its origin and git push origin master so that this repository will be available on the internet for anyone to see those codes and learn or get anything. Okay, what are the things I want to do now? I want to add to this repository. I want to add some capability names, and this is the first time I am using my own editor, capability.txt. First capability would be to LSP support, so that all those program specific like JavaScript, PHP, Node.js, Golang, those becomes much more easier to see. LSP support would be a good thing to have. What about tree seater? It's better to have tree seater. What else? Before I include much more heavier things, let's do first some basic things. Like if I want to go end of the line or end of the word, control and right arrow key should be the thing. That is not working. So I must mention and solve all those basic things first. Let's save it and quit. Micro technicaldetails.md. Before I do big things, let's clear those small small things first, like control plus right arrow, one word at a time. Control plus right arrow and left arrow. I think AI will understand that requirement. Will AI? By the way, let me show you where this code base is. Right now, this is the website where E as a text editor is implemented. As I see, it is only 58 KB. 58 KB for the code base, but there is no binary. I think binary build I will have to add those manually later on, or I could attach with some kind of automated build system like Silicon Pin provides some kind of automation build process. I can add those to the automated build process so that those binary builds becomes available for any user. Control right or left arrow or left arrow. So can it implement control plus left or right arrow? Let's see. I think it has done the implementation. How fast AI writes code, it is unbelievable. Just you will have to provide the basic context and technical details, that's it, and you one by one you add your requirements and AI just does it things. But eventually I have found they does something nasty, especially if you have asked for a simple implementation. It does the implementation, but along with that what it does wrong is it removes another functionality or it breaks another functionality. So it's better you write your own testing mechanism so that each and every test must pass before the execution. For that reason I already have made testing scenarios. Before I do that, let's do the capability, and yes, it has successfully implemented the control right and control left thing. That is it for today. I think there would be some more functionality you want to add. Either you can do it by yourself or you can ask me over Silicon Git. Bye for today.